Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news, a big boost for Hillary Clinton in the race for the White House. A new ABC News poll shows the Democratic nominee getting a bump heading into the final days of the campaign. The poll taken after the final debate shows Clinton ahead of Donald Trump by 12 points. She's celebrating the numbers, all while Trump is still fighting accusations of sexual misconduct while rallying in Naples.
All of these liars will be sued after the election is over.
My opponent thinks belittling women makes him bigger. That may be who Donald Trump is, but this election is about who we are and what we believe.
The new poll also shows 69% of voters don't like the way Trump is handling the accusations of sexual assault. Here on the Sun Coast, we're just hours away from the start of early voting. And as ABC 7's Kate Flexter tells us, both parties are kicking campaigning into high gear.
The Supervisor of Elections building here in Sarasota is just one of 7 locations in the county, along with 5 locations in Manatee County where you can cast that early vote. And the early vote is continuing to play a larger and larger role each election season. The race to Election Day is on as the finish line fast approaches. At Sarasota's Democratic Party, volunteers call potential voters, some even going door to door.
Every vote counts always, but this time it's really important not to miss anybody, so we are going to the doors of people who may not vote all the time.
At the Republican Party, a similar story.
Hi, Dorothy. This is Mike. I'm calling from the Republican Party headquarters in Florida.
Volunteers calling voters in an effort to get out the vote.
We're targeting all 122,000 of our registered Republican voters in Sarasota County.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that early voting begins tomorrow.
And each year those efforts start earlier and earlier as more and more people turn to alternative methods of casting their vote. That means absentee ballots, vote by mail, and starting Monday in Florida, early voting.
There are so many people early voting that it's just as exciting to be in that line and know you voted and that your vote's going to count than take that chance that for whatever reason you might miss it.
It's a huge part of the election. So you've got to take absentee and early voting very, very importantly.
Pew Research reports that 36% of voters in the last presidential election voted in some way other than going to a traditional polling place on Election Day. And that percentage is expected to go up even more this year.
It's a gigantic deal, and it has changed the nature of elections in the United States.
New College political science professor Keith Fitzgerald says the new emphasis on alternative voting methods is forcing parties to change their strategies and amp up campaigning early on.
I think it's the margin of victory in a lot of campaigns. If you can be very effective at figuring out who's voting when, that makes you effective at talking to people directly. And in a close campaign, the campaign that does that well wins.
For a full list of locations and times to cast that early vote, log on to mysuncoast.com. In Sarasota, Kate Flexter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Kate, thank you very much. Selfies and social media have also played a large role in this election, but remember, one isn't allowed inside the polls. For those hoping to post pictures walking in or filling out their ballots, in Florida, both are still illegal. Photographs are not allowed inside polling places or of mail ballots. Even though the federal judges have struck down bans on selfies in some states, here it is still a violation that carries potential fines or jail terms. Senator Marco Rubio is scheduled to be on the Sun Coast tomorrow. He and Congressman Vern Buchanan will host a roundtable at Manatee Memorial Hospital in Bradenton about the heroin and opioid epidemic plaguing Florida. They will be joined by healthcare officials, local law enforcement, and community leaders from Sarasota and Manatee counties. Manatee County has been hit the hardest by the heroin epidemic in Florida. This year, it's already seen nearly 900 suspected heroin overdoses. The roundtable starts tomorrow at noon. Now let's head over to Steve Newman for a first check on our weather today. Steve?
Adam, there is so little going on in our weather that even when we sandwich the satellite and the radar on top of each other, there's nothing that can be seen over Florida. We have some broken clouds that are spreading in across the Atlantic, reaching almost Highlands County right now. And there's some cirrus clouds rushing across the Gulf in our direction, but it is dry and it will stay that way for most of this week. Close look at the radar shows there are no radar echoes even on the local level. Currently at the airport, 67 degrees. The humidity and dew point are up. 55 degrees is the dew point. Humidity 66%. And winds instead of northerly are now from the northeast at 6. Today's high temperature was 81 degrees. Last night's low, a cool, chilly 54. That's considerably cooler than normal on both counts, but we're going to warm up to about normal for the rest of the week. And for tonight, temperatures will cool off to near 60 degrees by dawn and then start a warming trend that will last right on through Wednesday. The complete forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Adam?
All right, thank you, Steve. In Southern California today, one of the deadliest road accidents in the state's history. A tour bus rear-ending a big rig at high speed, killing 13 and leaving 31 others in the hospital. ABC's Adrian Bankert has more.
The tour bus crashed into the semi-truck's trailer on this stretch of desert highway near Palm Springs, about 100 miles from Los Angeles. The force of the collision is plain to see in the mangled wreckage. The entire front of the bus penetrated the back of the big rig. The California Highway Patrol says the bus was moving significantly faster than the truck.
I will tell you the speed of the bus was so significant that when it hit the back of the big rig, the trailer itself entered about 15 feet into the bus.
This is all that's left of that semi behind us here. From witness accounts, it appeared the big rig swallowed that bus. An eyewitness said several rows of seats in the front of the bus were crushed by the impact. Firefighters using ladders to remove bodies. The Highway Patrol gathered the victims' personal effects in paper bags. Heavy machinery was needed to pull apart the massive metal wreckage.
In almost 35 years, I've never been to a crash where there's been 13 confirmed fatal accidents. So it's tough. It's tough for all of us.
The injured were taken to 3 hospitals. One doctor said some of their wounds could have been much worse.
This bus struck something that was actually collapsible. When you usually see someone involved in a high-speed motor vehicle crash, the thing that you see are big-time broken bones. This was not one of the circumstances that we were faced with.
They still have yet to identify the victims, and we know that we talked to a couple of family members here who say they're waiting to find out if a mother and grandmother survived. Adrian Bankert, ABC News, Indio, California.
State police say the bus had passed its 3 most recent inspections. The driver, who was also the bus's owner, was also killed in the crash. The NTSB will join in the investigation. 8 people are recovering from injuries after a car crashed into a church in Miami Gardens. Witnesses say a driver swerved to avoid another car, lost control, and crashed into the Mount Zion African Methodist Church. The victims were inside the building when the car hit the wall, and everyone started running out of the church. The impact sent debris flying. Pieces of concrete are still scattered along the floor and on the church pews. Still to come here on ABC 7, good news for men and women who identify as LGBT. 3 Florida cities receiving a high score measuring the quality of life. We'll tell you where.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC 7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC 7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
Let SWC Properties sell your home today. Take advantage of this great market and sell your home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. SWC Properties gives you the benefit of full-service marketing that sells your home faster with the fewest hassles. There are no hidden fees, and now for a limited time we'll list your home for 50% off. Wouldn't it feel great to save thousands and feel confident with your move? Give us a call for details or visit swcproperties.com and contact us for free information packet and find out why. It's simple. We just market your home better.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
My name's Emma. I am 15. I was bullied all through middle school. That's when I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and an eating disorder.
It's like I'm stuck. It's like impossible to move. And I just feel like people just will think I'm making it up.
You need to tell someone because people do care and you're not alone. I don't think depression makes me a bad person. I think it makes me stronger.
I'm Haley Wilkes. Manatee's 2 half-cent sales taxes. Voters decide on the new taxes this November. Find out how they benefit the community.
Monday on ABC 7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you. ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, you'll always get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
3 Florida cities have received the highest score possible in measuring the quality of life for gay, lesbian, and transgender residents. Only 60 cities nationwide received a top score. The gay rights group Human Rights Campaign gave Orlando, St. Petersburg, and Wilton Manors a score of 100. The Municipal Equality Index evaluates more than 500 cities nationwide on how inclusive they are to the LGBT community. The lowest scoring cities in Florida were Cape Coral and Port St. Lucie. Neither Sarasota nor Bradenton were on the list. Farm workers from around the country are protesting against Wendy's fast food restaurants. Organized by the Coalition of Immokalee Workers, they're calling attention to Wendy's refusal to join the Fair Food Program protecting against farm worker exploitation.
Wendy's is the only major fast food corporation that hasn't signed the Fair Food Program. All of the 5 major fast food corporations, including McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, they've all come to the table with us to sign the Fair Food Program, which has been changing conditions for farm workers. Under the Fair Food Program, these things are changing so that there could no longer be any tolerance for sexual harassment towards women in the fields, so that there's no exploitation for workers, no wage theft, and no modern-day slavery conditions that agricultural workers have experienced throughout history.
We reached out to Wendy's for comment, but a representative was unavailable. A week dedicated to learning more about the food produced right in our area is officially underway. This was the scene at Palma Sola Botanical Garden in Bradenton. It's part of Sarasota's Eat Local Week, celebrating some of the best local food and farming in both Sarasota and Manatee counties. This year's theme is Food Changes Everything. It explores the connections between food and different topics like health, art, culture, and the economy. One healthy eater tells us local fruit is vital to staying active.
If there was no fruit trees, no one would be healthy. And no one would everyone would start to eat junk food and get sick.
That's an expert if I ever saw one. Each year, dozens of participating partners come together to host several educational and tasting events, including farm and garden tours. Weeks after Hurricane Matthew hit Florida, the extent of the damage is still becoming clear. Property appraisers say the hurricane left more than $67 million in damage to hotels and motels in Volusia County, which includes Daytona Beach. A director at the Holiday Inn in Daytona Beach Shores says the hotel has water intrusion in 90% of the rooms. The storm also blew out the windows, and the carpets needed to be removed from every room. The area's largest hotel had major flood and wind damage. It finally reopened on Wednesday. That was just a few weeks ago that a lot of people from the East Coast were staying in our hotels here, enjoying our weather, which wasn't quite as bad and certainly wasn't bad these last 2 days.
We still have a month to go in our hurricane season. It doesn't end until the end of November, and so we have to keep a weather eye out, but things are looking promising that maybe we won't get anything, but we'll keep a close eye here. By the way, Wendy has been gone for 3 weeks, and she's back next Saturday. It's been a pleasure filling in for her, and we'll see you again down the road sooner or later. Look what a beautiful day it was from our Lakewood Ranch camera. Hardly a cloud in the sky, and at dusk, the winds are beginning to calm down after having some ripples on that lake earlier on. We have recovered from last night at this time by several degrees. It was in the 60s down in South Florida earlier, this time yesterday, now in the 70s. So you can see that warmth as a result of more warmth and moisture blowing now off the Atlantic instead of having strong northerly winds over the state. And across our viewing area, there's some high clouds beginning to filter into Highlands County and maybe the far eastern extremes of Sarasota and Manatee County, that moisture coming in off the Atlantic, which is a sign of things to come. It's still warmer by several degrees right now, 68 at Palmetto, 70 where last night this time, I think we're about 67 at that location, 68 at Siesta Key, and down in Charlotte County and southern Sarasota County, temperatures in the 60s. We'll probably bottom out around 60 degrees tonight, which is 4 or 5 degrees warmer than it was this morning, the coldest morning so far. And the reason is high pressure is nudging eastward, shifting the wind direction from north to northeasterly, and it's going to do nothing but get even more easterly over the next couple of days. You can see in these wind flows in the satellite that we have some high clouds coming across the Gulf of Mexico, but it's pretty much fair except for those scattered broken clouds. You can just barely see them now trying to move across Florida, but if the moon were out there, you'd be able to see the moon through them. Now across the nation, we have storm after storm predicted to come into the west with mountain snow. They want to hear that. And we even had some snow up in the northeastern United States this weekend from a very powerful storm that's now moving across Atlantic Canada. And it left behind several inches of snow, especially in upstate New York around the Adirondacks, all across Vermont, part of New Hampshire and Quebec. Over a foot of snow to the east of Montreal and Sherbrooke, where Burlington got about 4 or 5 inches. That's not going to last very long because the ground is warm. It hasn't frozen yet. And look at the air temperatures in the 40s to 50s. That snow is not going to be around by this time tomorrow. And our low temperatures tonight, pretty seasonal. A little chilly, though, up in the northern plains. Minneapolis tonight, 36 degrees and warming up to a very pleasant 82 tomorrow in Dallas, 78 in Atlanta. New York City close to 60, very autumnal up there. Now, if we take a look at our futurecast for Florida, high pressure is dominating our weather. It's channeling those winds from the east and northeast. But we do have a cold front approaching us late Tuesday. It'll start to break up, and by the time it passes the Suncoast on Wednesday, it'll pretty much wash out. So it's not going to have another burst of cool and dry air, but it will keep things pleasant, I think, right on for the rest of the week without getting hot and humid again. We're going to have a slow warming trend, though. But our forecast, the things you need to remember, not as cool tonight by several degrees, and we'll have a slow warming for the rest of the week, and it'll stay mainly dry. I think we'll like that. I had to water my lawn for the first time today because we haven't had any rain for a while. Northeast winds 5 to 10 knots on the open water, seas 2 feet or less, moderate chop on the bay. 82 our beach temperature. Water temperatures cooled up to 75 because of our chilly weather. Here's our forecast for tonight. Clear and fresh. Our low temperature is 60 degrees at 6 degrees cooler than normal. We don't get a chance to say that very often lately. And we will slowly warm back up to seasonal normal as we move for the rest of the week with only a slight chance of rain by next weekend. Adam?
Sports is next. Stick around.
Mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at 58 years old.
For me, it was heart-wrenching.
It takes a toll on everyone. I mean, it's a depressing disease to watch unfold before your eyes.
You just don't see the person's soul is like gone.
This disease just ravages a family.
It changes your life.
The magnitude of it is indescribable.
Now is the moment. If we work together, we can stop this epidemic.
Contact Bright Focus and learn more.
You might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
Christmas Tradition by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Come experience the precision, performance, and power of the Ram 1500 during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Built tough enough to help you conquer whatever the day may throw your way with all the comfort, gizmos, and gadgets you'd find in a luxury vehicle. And right now, get over 20% off. That's up to $15,000 off a new Ram 1500. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Now, sports.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers returning to the gridiron today, but without the offensive talents of running back Doug Martin and wide receiver Vincent Jackson, both on the disabled list for their road game against the 49ers. So Jameis Winston is charged with leading this offense today, and on the other side, Colin Kaepernick getting his second start of the season. And early on, Kaepernick looking like his old self, rolls left, throws and hits Sean Drone in the corner of the end zone to take a 14-0 lead here in the first half. But in the second half, Winston showing he can run and gun as well. He throws one up for his go-to guy, Mike Evans, one of his 8 catches of the game. Bucks take a 14-point lead themselves. Then in the fourth quarter, no Doug Martin, no problem. Peyton Barber takes the handoff 44 yards for the score. Jacquizz Rodgers added 154 yards on the ground as well. And the Bucks roll the Niners 34-17. Kaepernick 0-2 in his last 2 starts. The Miami Dolphins also taking care of business against the Buffalo Bills today. Second-year running back Jay Ajayi ties an NFL record with his second straight game rushing for over 200 yards. Tannehill was 15 for 25 passing with 204 yards himself and a touchdown. The Dolphins improved to 3-4 on the season with a 3-point win. And the plight of Cubs fans is partially over, and the President of the United States is taking notice. Barack Obama tweeting his congratulations to Cubs fans, saying even this White Sox fan was happy to see Wrigley rocking last night. Yeah, last night thousands flooded to the streets outside Wrigley Field to celebrate the team's series-clinching Game 6 win against the Dodgers. Hundreds more ran to grab some new World Series merchandise, and they tried to describe their emotions.
I cried like a baby when they won. I have to say, everybody was nervous in the 9th inning. Everybody was just kind of pacing. And when they won, it was fabulous.
It was just the most exhilarating thing I've ever been through in my life. It was very surreal. I couldn't be happier.
It's been over 70 years since the Cubbies made a World Series appearance. Game 1 against the Cleveland Indians is set for Tuesday. And hundreds in Lexington, Kentucky came out this weekend to say their final farewells to the daughter of U.S. Olympian Tyson Gay. 15-year-old Trinity Gay was a rising track star herself, just like her father, who was a sprinter on the 2012 London Olympics team. Last Sunday, she was killed by a stray bullet during a shootout outside of a restaurant. Her father says he hopes to turn this tragedy into a lesson about gun violence.
This is just something that no one should have to live, and I never knew what I want to do when I retired, but I have to use my voice and my daughter's situation to bring light to senseless gun violence and educating our youth, and it starts at a young age.
Police have since arrested at least 3 people following Trinity Gay's death, all charged with wanton endangerment. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Shop GoWildHonda.com. Lease a new Fit for $149 or Civic just $169 with no down payment. That's GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Hurricane season is here, and Suncoast weather can go from this to this in seconds. So when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology so that we can bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
Plus, we focus on the Suncoast and track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you. The all-new MySuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation. And everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts. And 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
Shop GoWildHonda.com. Lease a new Accord or CR-V for $179 with no down payment. Your choice, just $179. That's GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Finally tonight, a new member of the Centennial Club. Almost. Clara Joaquin Sandelman was born on October 26, 1916, making her just a few days shy of that 100-year-old mark. Her family and friends celebrating the big accomplishment today at Rustlers in Sarasota. Clara first arrived to the Suncoast from Westchester, New York in the mid-70s, and over the last centuries she lost a child, lived in a few different homes, and says a lot has changed.
There is no comparison with the youth of today and the technology of today that influences their lives. That the only thing I wish is they would stop putting these crazy guys on the front page of every newspaper.
All right, that's good advice, Clara. Thank you. And Clara had some more advice to enjoy a long, healthy life. She says, always be honest because the truth will catch up with you, especially if you live 100 years on this earth.
Clara does not look a day over 50.
She doesn't. Great. She's beautiful. So we got a nice little week for early voters coming up.
Early voters, no weather problems there. Look at that. Temperature is warming up to seasonal normal, which is about 85 degrees for late October.
All right. Sounds good. Get out there. Get out the vote. We'll see you guys in the morning.